In the near future, obelisks descend from the sky and offer humanity a choice: play in the games or die. And of course, humanity stands up to the challenge and chooses to play in the games. An artificial intelligence that looks suspiciously like Alex Trebek has read all of Earth's literature, and realizing that Earth are the underdogs, that they're not magically adept like the Inni or powerful like the Bruteros, the AI has decided to give humanity a leg up and has chosen its favorite characters from Earth's literature to participate in the game.
So welcome Willow from Amon, being played by Martha Carr, and Orion from The Debt Collector, being played by Andrew Givler, the authors of the series. So congratulations, contestants, and congratulations on your continued success. As you just complete the last level, there is a shimmering shield in front of you. And because both of you are tremendous heroes, instead of looking around and trying to decide what to do around this shimmering force field, you both do what heroes do and walk right through it. Could you please roll a d20, each of you?
I got an 18.
Oh, fantastic. And Martha, what did you get?
I got an 8.
Well, as an 18, Andrew, you only take 2 points of damage, so please hit your sheet. And Martha, unfortunately, you take 3. The unfortunate effect is that this shimmering force field has also destroyed all your weapons that have been acquired through the previous lessons. Now, as the AI who loves your books and has manifested your characters into the games, I have also invited Morgan Quaid from Brisbane fame to DM us. Now, I had scoured the universe for the perfect DM. In fact, I found 5 candidates, and just as I was about to select one, there was a glitch erasing them from my systems. But luckily, Morgan Quaid has the unique ability of being available, and so therefore he will walk us through the games. Morgan, they have passed through the psionic wall poorly, please.
Hello and welcome. I am Morgan Quaid, and as the AI said, I am available. So let's begin our adventure. So we will start, if you would, I will begin with Miss Willow. If you could describe your character, what she looks like, and roughly what kind of personality she is, that would be fantastic.
Willow is more likely to kick your ass than shake your hand. She's in her 20s, dark brown hair. She runs a taco truck in Austin, Texas. She's a witch, a mage, and every time she casts a spell, she has an orgasm.
All right, that's going to make for some interesting and maybe a little bit confusing play. Very good, thank you. Welcome, Willow. Now we turn to Orion. Would you please describe your character?
Orion is the Orion, the one who has a constellation in the sky commemorating his hunting prowess. He's a Nephilim. As such, he is not completely 50-50 human and demon, but probably like 45% demon. It's hard to trace the genealogies very well. He is very severe, very intense. He doesn't tell a lot of jokes, and usually when he does, they're bad. And he is not one to make friends quickly.
Good to know. All right.
He's also
so
millennia old. I don't know. He's very old.
And let me just say, as someone in there, late 20s, there's nothing wrong with being old. Old is fine. There's no problem with that at all. All right. So as we begin your journey together, you have passed through the previous level. You have been stripped of your weaponry, and you are now approaching a vast bridge, at the end of which something quite impressive stands. I'm going to show you right now what that impressive thing is. A dragon, no less. A very, very large, very impressive dragon with a horde of demon creatures under its belly. So that is what awaits you over this vast, vast bridge. But before we get there, it might be worth a little look around to see what you have available. Because again, you have no weapons. You are decidedly unprepared. It might be advantageous to check what's going on. What would you like to do?
So what does the landscape look like around the bridge. Do I get to make that up?
Yeah, so the landscape is it's a mixture of, you've sort of walked through a more technologically advanced area where there's a lot of metal, and you walk through this thing called the Veil, which took you from one level to the other. You're now in sort of a standing area, but ahead of you is a bridge, very, very large bridge, which is, you know, stone and wood and that sort of thing. More of a castle type vibe. And then beyond that, you can't really see because the dragon is so big that you can't sort of see what's beyond, but you know that that's where the next adventure may lay if you can survive it.
And as the AI who wants you to survive, because I loved you in Deck Collector, Mr. Orion, I give you exactly a 1.7% chance of survival.
1.7.
Okay, well,
Not great.
Yeah, and thanks for that. I would clearly cast a spell at the dragon, because if I do it right, then the dragon has a really great orgasm and, calms down.
Orgasm attack. All right. So before we get to that point, let me just say the dragon is quite a distance away. It's just so large that it looks a lot closer than what it is. Again, dragon, roar, there it is. But it's a fair way away.
Is there
yes.
any sort of perception or things that we could check to see if maybe there's like paths to go around, places other people have gone to explore, to see if maybe there's like some weapons lying around or supplies we can sort of scavenge?
Indeed, you may roll for perception, and that will give you some options. So why don't you both roll, and we'll see.
Is that a D20?
What comes out. Yeah.
Okay. 16 for me.
Three.
Not bad. Oh, okay. So Willow, you are so besotted by the dragon that it's literally all you see, and you're obsessed by this thought of I need to give this beast an orgasm of some sort. There's got to be a way I can reach across the span. Anyway, so you're just besotted by the dragon, and you think, it's a dragon. Dragons are kind of your thing. It just looks majestic and wonderful and all the rest of it.
The fan mail I'm going to get after this is broadcast.
Orion, you are not so enamored by the dragon, so you start looking around. You don't notice anything on the floor in front of you. There's no weapons ready to hand. There's nothing that you can sort of grab and use to hit or do anything with. In fact, it is remarkably free of any sort of objects, just flat spaces, essentially. Except you do notice on the closest wall, there is something flickering, a sort of light coming. There's part of the wall is coming in and out of focus. There's some sort of glitch going on there, almost like a computer glitch, and you can see beyond something that looks green and blue.
Well, I also should mention that Orion hates dragons. Like, they have really bad blood. So yeah, he's unhappy with the fact that he's not armed while he's staring at a dragon. So I think that he would want to go and explore anything to maybe find a way to have some sort of advantage. So he would be like, let's go this way. There's something over here. Maybe he doesn't have any magical abilities, so maybe there's something you can sense that he can't.
So we're gonna go over towards the green and blue, and okay, and
it seems like the direction to go.
All right, but I'm reluctantly going because I don't see what he's talking about. And I'm having to trust this guy that I just met, which never seems like a good idea. And who is this Orion dude? We wander over there, and I can't even see anything, though. So I'm looking for what parts of the bridge I can maybe pull off and just beat the dragon with. That's probably not a good idea.
All right, so Willow, you're kind of backing towards the glitch, but facing the dragon the whole time, almost as though you're being pulled against your will. Orion, you walk up to the glitch, put your hand through, and find that it's safe on the other side. You then sort of push your head through, and you find that the green and the blue is in fact a picturesque landscape, blue skies, green hills, that sort of thing. So there is something beyond that glitch. There is a realm in there, sort of an area, and it smells great. That's just the smell of a bright summer's day. What would you like to do?
Well, it's seeing as I guess I'm not perceiving any sort of potential threat, and it seems like this is the only way I can go without facing the dragon immediately. I would step through, be like, I would turn back and look at my companion and say, "There's something this way," and then just kind of very boldly step through because Orion doesn't really get intimidated.
Okay, so you step through. Willow, what would you like to do?
So this guy just disappeared on me and just said boldly we go this way, which is kind of mansplaining, but I'm going to overlook it. And there's a giant dragon behind me, and I have nothing but my spells, hoping to cause an orgasm to calm him down so I can get past him. But I didn't see any smoke come out of the hole that guy just disappeared into, who put his head through without knowing what it was, just pointing at it. So I'm going to let him go first, maybe a lot more, and I follow behind him.
So as you both enter this realm, you walk into, as I said, a picturesque landscape with rolling hills, beautiful summer's day. There's a path ahead of you, and it's sort of a medieval type deal. So it's a stone path leading off to what looks to be a distant village. Again, very picturesque, very quiet, birds chirping, all of that sort of thing. You see this village in the distance. There are other features and there's sort of woodlands surrounding, but there's this clearing with houses and those sorts of things, and villages. You do also notice something in the distance ahead, a figure of some sort or some sort of object that could be a rock or something in the path ahead of you.
I would like Orion to go poke at it first.
Well, Ryan would be more than happy to go poke at it.
As you are about to go poke, which I don't know if we're going to roll for poke, the AI, the AI intervenes.
As kind of like the guide here. So one of the things that I'm noticing, and I find this quite curious to be like an unexpected, is that this level or this area looks surprisingly like a bonus level that existed in the 47th game of the Empire 9,000 years ago. And so this glitch is leading into a level that should have been erased 9,000 years ago. And if memory serves me correctly, at the end of this bonus level, there was weaponry specifically designed to help players win the game.
Oh.
And with that, the setup is complete. If this was a book, we are now entering the inciting incident. There we go.
As I said, it's all picturesque. Everything looks great. You do see a figure ahead. There's a little bit of water off to the left as well. There's a little bit of like rocks sort of to one side, but in the middle of a sort of crossroads in this path, you see something.
So the something is made of stone?
No, it might be a stone. It might be an animal. It could be something. It's just something that stands out. It doesn't belong in the middle of the road. Yeah.
Got it. It turns out that it's a gnome that has been alive for way too long in this level, so it looks kind of stonish because its skincare is just beautiful.
It's oxidizing in front of our eyes.
That's right. And he is protecting his nearby fortune, so he is not happy to see us. But there are weapons everywhere from the last battle 9,000 years ago that we can choose from to try and get by him to find the fortune.
And it's like, and if wishes were horses, Martha, that's exactly what would it be. But the reality is that there's not a 9,000-year-old gnome, nor are there weapons just casually lying about. But we like your moxie. And this is why I selected Willow to be one of the contestants, because she is the very pinnacle of positive thinking. Please, Morgan, tell them what actually is on the road.
Okay, so the object in the center of the road moves and moves towards you slowly at first, growing larger and larger and larger, but even moving closer towards you, it doesn't ever get above your sort of waist. So there is a small creature walking towards you with lizard-like features, a little bit, sort of cutesy, not too not on the gross side of the lizard spectrum, if I can put it that way. And it's walking towards you with big eyes, very excited, yammering in a language you cannot understand, waving its arms around, very excited to see you. It's about 20 feet away and approaching swiftly.
Well, Orion is just sort of tense and stressed at all times, so he doesn't like lizards because they remind him of dragons. And as this thing's coming, he would just sort of like set himself to be ready to strike at a moment's notice, especially if he can't understand what it's saying.
Willow has the ability of transformation, and she's comfortable with lizards. She's seen them grow into big giant dragons. So she would approach. Also, Willow has a taco truck, so there's a chance that there's some food on her person somewhere. So she would lay it out like a trail to see what happens next and make friends with the lizard.
All right. Well, the little creature comes waddling up, very excited, flapping its hands, and as is the way with these sorts of creatures, goes immediately toward and is drawn toward the one that hates him most. So it goes straight to Orion, doesn't go to the friendly looking, food bearing lady, but instead just goes straight for the fierce looking warrior that's backing away and has his fist balled up. And this creature says,
Orion would look at Willow and be like, did you get that?
And Willow comes from a long line of witches and wizards who've lived a very long time, and she would get about every third word. She just can't quite figure out what.
As the AI, I kind of go, that's interesting language I haven't heard in over a century. And I would like to just very politely and gently point out to the sorceress, Willow, she does have a spell called Comprehend Languages.
Oh, that's right.
Sorry to get break the fourth wall here a little bit. I just thought I'd toss you that bone.
Thank you for tossing me a bone. And besides all that, she would use that comprehend language to translate what the lizard says.
So you hear this creature talk. Now, only you can understand at this stage, so Orion can't understand.
Right, and I haven't told Ryan either because I don't trust that dude yet.
Right. So the creature says something along the lines of, welcome. You are here. The people from the Biggin place. Welcome. So you hear words about big and large and impressive, and you interpret that to be referring to the dragon, of course. But as the creature keeps talking, you start to realize, he's talking about us. He's referring to us as in some grandiose sort of way. He walks up, leaving Orion immediately because he can see that you can understand, grabs your hands, shakes them with his, sort of coldish, prickly digits. That's a weird way to describe hands, but anyway, that's what they're like, weird, prickly digits. And he just starts babbling, going on and on about how he's been waiting for you. It's been so long. The Biggins are finally here. You're going to save the day. Everything's going to be fantastic. And then he just stops and looks at you, hopefully, still holding your hand.
So this is a level that was supposed to be destroyed, and the creatures who live here have been trying to keep it alive for their own sake all these years and have been looking for their rescuers to come and save them. Why is the AI waving at me dramatically?
Martha, you just have gotten an inspiration point. And if you were a Dungeons and Dragons player, you would understand what that means and be very happy. But for now, we'll just say congratulations. And what an inspiration point allows you to do is re-roll something that isn't to your advantage.
So this creature stops his babbling, but then the gist that you get is similar to what you were saying, that he and his people have been living in this place for many, many, many years, waiting for the deliverers to come. And he's so excited because he has been chosen to sort of shepherd you into the realm and tell you what's what, and essentially point you towards the enemy, and so that you can complete this grand quest. He's also babbling a lot. So there's a lot of nonsensical words in there that don't make any sense, a lot of food references that don't make much sense, and a lot of other things that you can't you can understand the word, but the meaning of it doesn't make sense because he's referring to something local within that world. But he seems to be very excited and very much wants you to follow him. So he now has your hand and is pulling you down the road, trying to get you to come with him. And one eye is sort of looking down at the taco bits that are on the ground. So he's trying to kind of half grab them, but not letting go of you as he moves along. At this stage, Orion still does not understand a word of what's going on, but I'm guessing you understand that some sort of communication is going on.
Yeah, I think Orion would just say, like, are you getting some of this?
And I would say I've gotten all of it and follow behind the lizard.
Well, so let me show you where you are.
Okay.
Oh.
You are at the top right. So where the path comes in, and you see that rock.
Yeah.
Rock on one side, water on the other. The little creature is leading you down towards, not towards the settlement, but toward the square sort of building in the center, which is surrounded by scrubland, essentially. So it's leading you there, babbling excitedly. And at this point, I'm receiving a message from the AI, something about a translation matrix.
Mr. Givler, can you please roll a d20?
Sure thing. Ooh, a 5.
Excellent. Inspired by more literature that I love, I offer you what looks like what you would imagine a babblefish to be from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. And you put it into your ear, but it subsequently squirms right out, taking a massive amount of earwax with you. You unfortunately do not understand anything. And as the AI, I kind of look at you and I go, really, Orion? We'll try again later.
All right. So Willow, babbling creature, drags you along to this area and starts telling you about a prophecy and the weapons that are waiting for you in the temple so that you can kill the big bad. He leads you up this path toward what looks like a hut or a house, or, that's the thing, which has been there for a while. He's calling it a temple. It doesn't look very much like a temple, but that he's convinced that this place is precious and special, and that you have to go in there. The grand things await inside. And he's still pulling you, munching on half a taco as he's doing it, still pulling you towards this place. And you see that it just looks like a standard sort of medieval hut kind of thing, a little bit oversized compared to the other buildings in the village beyond. But there's nothing that special about it. It does have a gate out front, which seems a little bit odd. But anyway, so the creature says, "Come, you must go inside. You must win, destroy the badness. Come."
So she is cautiously approaching. She's using something to detect magic to see what she's up against.
Because there's a lot going on here, why don't you roll a d20, and if you get above a 10, you'll get some information. The higher, closer to 20, the more information you'll get.
And also, if she does succeed with this spell, doesn't it have implications for what happens to everyone around her?
Oh yes.
Oh God.
Well, she sadly rolled a 1.
Excellent. All right. Givler, can you please roll a d20?
Sure.
And let's just put it this way: under a 10 would be hilarious.
I got an 11.
Oh, that's too bad. So you cast a spell, and the way to detect the magic works is that you get to kind of see how it almost like highlights where the magic is and what is magic and what is not magic. And what immediately you see is just this like glowing light that just overwhelms you with light. The entire thing is magic. The ground is magic. Practically everything here is magic. And you weren't able to filter it out to kind of be able to see what pieces were what. So you got no information, but it was pleasant casting the spell.
What do you mean by pleasant, AI?
I mean a word that makes me blush. And so Orion is experiencing a sensation that he being a virile and quite attractive man has rarely felt, but he has felt it a couple times. And he believes the modern expression for this is blue balls.
All right.
You have disadvantage on your next 3 rolls.
Okay. Orion would sort of look at Willow and narrow his eyes a little bit, and he would be like, "Was that you?"
Willow would say, "You're damn right it was me, and you're welcome."
I will say at this point, so a couple of things. First of all, the sense that you get is the little creature that's been guiding you thus far has been constantly referring to this term Peck, and you gather as a result that is the creature's name. Now, Orion, technically you don't know that, because you still can't speak the language. It's just babble, babble, babble. But Willow, you know that this creature's name is Peck. You also get the sense with the description that the creature is giving you that there, again, he wants you to go inside this building because there's something in there that will help you in your grand quest that he's insisting you're going to be on. And as the AI said, everything in this place is magical. Everything looks out of place and in place at the same time. So that kind of doesn't get you anything. Orion, though, may have something that he can use to try and determine what's going on.
Yeah, now that he sort of realized that she tried something and he suspects that it went awry because of the strange feeling he's experiencing at the moment, he decides to do detect magic for himself.
Right.
See what he can see. He's trying to figure out what just happened.
Roll 2 dice. I'm going to take the lower score.
All right. 11 and 14.
Not bad. Yeah. All right.
Well done, Mr. Givler.
So you do notice that, yes, everything in this place is magical. However, there seems to be a bit of a nimbus or an aura around the building ahead of you, and particularly the gates. You do notice something on the gate, a sign of some sort with language written there. So there is a message there. Peck hasn't mentioned this at all. He's still just jumping up and down, very excited that you're all here and wanting to get you to go into that place.
I think, let's see. Orion would point at the sign and then look at Willow and be like, can you read that? Or can he?
And Willow realizes that Orion never says very much and then always turns to her, but that's okay. She'll take charge. And so she has more of a conversation with Peck to get him to explain what's in the building, but Peck is reluctant to tell her, which makes her suspicious about what he's getting her into, because clearly he needs rescuing. And she knows to approach cautiously and sends out a mage hand.
If you can roll for the hand as well, please.
Okay, 20 dice.
20 dice, yeah.
Let's see if I can get above 6 this time. No, 3. What the hell?
Oh, no.
Okay, well, actually,
cursed die.
So actually, a 3 works better. It oddly enough, a 3 actually works to your advantage because you know, Willow being Willow isn't trying to be sneaky about it. She's not trying to look around corners. She's not trying to like test things. She just kind of sends the hand barreling through the door, and as soon as she does, 4 spears just shoot straight down at the hand. Your hand just took 10 points of damage. So
A 4?
yeah, and so it had 8 hit points, so the hand is gone.
Oh.
Now we react.
Yeah, so the hand is gone and she is shocked. So she has decided that the only way they're going to get out of this is to go forward. So she goes in the building with Peck right beside her. And because the lizard's willing to go with her, she figures it might not be.
No.
Not me. You go. The hero goes. Not Peck. Peck is not worthy. Peck stay and watch. The hero go. The hero be safe. Sharp bitey bite. Not Peck.
So Peck is adamant that he does not want to go in there because he is not worthy and he's very, very afraid, and he's seen the big pointy things come down and all that sort of stuff. So he stops at the gate and pulls away, but is still urging you on and saying, the weapons. He keeps repeating this phrase about the relics and the weapons that you need. He does mention one word now and then as well, and it seems like a name, and that name is Grendar, in reference to the big bad that is, needs to be destroyed. Grendar. Fear, terror, all that sort of stuff.
So Willow realizes that there is something dangerous besides the spears. There must be something really worthwhile in that building that they're all trying to protect. So the only choice they have is to go forward, and she goes in ready to cast another spell if she has to. And Orion insists on going first, pushes her aside. And goes first.
So I will say what you see. So the gate is now open. So it's after the mage hand did its thing, the gate has sort of opened fairly freely.
Mhm.
And you see ahead of the gate a pathway leading up to the main building. And on that pathway are a series of checkered stones. Some of those stones, half of those stones, have symbols on them that you can't really understand, but they're symbols of some sort. The other half do not. So the first section of pathway, the left-hand side has markings on it. The right-hand side has no marking. That is all you see and all that you sense at this point.
Willow recognizes that it's a pattern. It may not be a language so much as a puzzle, but you have to put the stones in together in the right order in order to figure out what the puzzle means. Does
Willow step forward onto one of those stones? Is there any contact made with those stones at this stage?
I have a feeling I will regret this, but yeah, she steps on a stone.
And which stone does she step on? A marked stone or a non-marked stone?
Willow goes for it and steps on a marked stone.
As she steps on the stone, fire erupts from the sides and beneath the path. Gouts of flame that roar from the ground below and the sides, burning you to an absolute crisp. Now, Orion, I need to know, where are you as this is going on? Are you behind Willow?
Yeah, I think I was still looking at the stones, so I'm watching this happen.
Right.
Do I have is there a way for me to reach her to pull her out of the fire?
Can I use the ray of frost while it's happening?
Well, so first we need to. I just realized I need to roll. I would like you just to roll a d20 if you could, please.
All right.
Oh, you want me to?
Well, yes, yeah. This is just to see how bad the initial
know
burn
it's
is,
gonna
because
be
this is
bad.
before anything has happened.
It's gonna be a 20 right
gonna
now.
get burnt. Yeah, please.
I
Yeah,
haven't
get a
rolled
20.
anything good yet, so why now? Okay. 16. Oh, yay.
That's good.
Oh,
Fine.
it is good. So you take 3 points of scorch damage, but you're so shocked by this fire that sort of erupts from everywhere that you actually stumble a little bit. You slip on one of the stones, and that ends up saving you from the brunt of the damage.
Okay.
You also get the sense that this is it seems like more for show than this is designed to kill you. This seems like more of a warning, more of a don't come any further, otherwise worse things will happen to you. So you step back, singed, looking at the path, maybe rethinking your approach. You're both there now, so you're a little bit scorched, but not too worse for wear. Everything returns and resets as normal. So again, marked stones on the left, the ones that you stood on that caused the fire, unmarked stones on the right. How would you like to proceed?
So is the implication that the fire is sort of at a high level? Like, is it possible to crouch underneath where it went off?
It's from the sides somehow. There's no framework or anything, so you don't know how it just appears from the side.
Okay.
There may be something hidden, and from beneath, from the ground itself. As you look down, you can see there are little holes in the ground in the pathway, where obviously the flame comes up from as well.
Got it. Well, I think Orion would sigh and say, "My turn," and he would step onto the unmarked stone.
All right. You step onto the unmarked stone. Nothing happens.
And so he would sigh again and take another step forward.
Again, nothing happens. It seems that as long as you stick to the right side of the path, everything is fine.
Okay, so Orion would not trust this, but he would take another step.
And everything is fine.
How many more stones are there?
There's another three steps to get to the next section. You do see after 3 steps, there's a section of stones that are completely unmarked, but look slightly different. Like there's a
little gap, but like 3 and then 3 kind of thing.
So there's 3, and then there's a line of like a rectangle block of that looks very stable and looks different, and you can't see any of the little holes underneath it. Beyond that is the next section of path.
Got it. So he would turn back to Willow and sort of shrug, like, okay, and step into the neutral zone between like and to wait.
All right. Well, you make it the whole way, and you're now in the middle. Willow, you're at the front before moving through, and you're unharmed. So walking down the right side has proven effective.
Yeah. Okay. And Willow smells suspiciously like a Taco Bell dumpster on a hot summer Texas day.
That's a specific scent, a very specific scent.
And she very cautiously steps onto the first stone that has nothing, a blank stone.
And nothing happens.
And then she follows to the next one, wondering if her luck will hold.
And it does.
And then she steps on the third one right behind Orion, who's in the gap.
And everything is fine. Nothing changes.
And then she joins him in the gap, standing next to him.
Slightly singed, slightly taco-y. You look ahead. You both look ahead at the next section of path. It's about the same length. This time, though, the right side of the path is marked. The left side of the path is unmarked.
Clever.
What?
Orion would look at Willow and say, "There's no way it's the same on this side, right?"
And Willow would shove him onto the marked stone.
Oh no!
All right, roll an attack. Roll a d20.
Me?
Yeah.
All right.
And Andrew, what's your AC? What's your armor class?
I'm looking.
Mother
13.
Rolled a 1.
Excellent. All right. So you
No, wait, a 7. A 7. I rolled a 7. Makes no difference, but it was a 7.
As you push,
Yeah.
unfortunately, Orion experiences yet another pulsating surge of blue balls, and just kind of like leans over in pain, like as you are about to push, and so you stumble on Wade. I don't even know. To be honest, I don't even know which one's which. So,
so you try and push Orion, but it goes awry, boom boom, and you stumble past, and your foot lands on exactly the stone you were trying to push him on, the stone that is marked, and nothing happens.
So I step onto the next marked stone.
And again, nothing happens.
Hey.
And you see ahead of you. There's a few more stones, and then again another breaking point where there doesn't seem to be anything going on. So that's what's ahead. You're on the right side. So far, everything's been fine.
And there's a few stones before another gap. Not one, but a few.
Yeah, three more stones.
3 more.
Yeah. They all look identical, though. They look exactly the same as the ones that you're standing on now.
She steps on to the next stone.
And nothing happens.
Okay. And so then she decides to hopscotch, sticking to the right side through the last 3 of them, of the marked stones.
Yes. So she skips through. You skip through the last few stones. You make it to the safe space. And then you hear way back now clapping and cheering, and you turn to see Peck jumping up and down, giddy with delight that you've made it to this section. You're safe. You're now at that point. You do see a third path ahead, a third section of path. But Orion, you're still back with the blue balls at the second section.
And at this moment, I kind of chime in and I go, it's interesting. This really reminds me of a Calaxian homestead. This is not anything I've seen, in practically 9,000 years. And they're quite an interesting race. They have this expression, the right side is the safe side. I guess I should have mentioned that earlier.
Would have been handy. Orion just sort of snorts in sort of vague amusement and follows Willow down the safe side to the next section.
All right, so you make it without anything. You get a less excited and a less jubilant clap from Peck. It's clear that he's chosen his favorite, and
it's mutual.
Yeah, that's right. All right. So what you see ahead of you in the final section of path, you see a door, a double door ahead of you, but there's one more section of path to go. It's a checkered array. So there are marked and unmarked stones in a checkered format leading to the door.
Mm.
Got it. Well, Orion would feel like it's his turn, even though even though Willow attempted to shove him on the last one. And he would just sort of mutter something about the right side and step out onto the right side stone.
All right. Excellent. You hear a sound like a shunk sound. And then the next you feel is the poisonous dart as it enters the right side of your body.
Oh, the Calaxian expression was the right side is sometimes the safe side. Crap, sorry.
Excellent.
You take 3 points of damage.
All right.
So the dart hits you. It stings a little bit, but it's not too bad. But you get the sense that the venom is working its way into your body. So there may be more coming.
Lovely. Am I currently on a marked or an unmarked stone?
You're on a marked stone.
Orion would sigh again, sort of a tired, long-suffering sigh, and then he would stay on the right side and advance another stone.
All right, so you move on to an unmarked stone because it's marked, unmarked, marked, unmarked, and again you hear this shunk sound, and the dart comes from the other side, hits you on the other side. You take. Again, 3 damage.
Okay.
And again, you get the sense that something not nice is entering your system.
Orion would take a deeper sigh, and then step over to diagonally to the left side stone.
Right. Okay. Which is another unmarked stone.
Okay.
You hear a shunk sound. Another dart comes at you.
So much for the Pathfinder.
Yeah, it's not going well here.
You lose 3 points.
Oh,
and
no.
Again, get the sense of foreboding that there may be more pain.
Is it just one more step?
It is 2 more steps.
2 more?
But
okay.
I will say you're a tall man. You could probably jump it if you roll an athletics check.
Yeah, let's go for a jump because he's tired of he's tired of this.
Right, so you want to get above 10 to make this. It's not too difficult, but yeah.
But I still have one more disadvantage, and I rolled a 14 and a 4. So
so you jump.
Blue balls take me down.
The combination of blue balls and toxins that are in your system take you down. You land on the final stone. Your foot just clips the final stone. You hear a shunk.
Oh no!
The dart comes through. However, I will say that you're already falling over at this stage. So you take one point of damage and stumble into the safe area. A little bit worse for wear.
As the system that is monitoring your internal organs and everything that is going on, I have to say it is remarkable how the pain of the venom has almost made you completely forget about the blue balls. Not entirely, but almost.
So
silver lining.
Silver lining. Standing there on the other side, he just kind of turns around and just sort of glares at Willow. He doesn't say anything, but there's a little bit of frustration.
There are sort of darts sticking out from you, and you're just staring.
He is very plussed. He is not nonplussed.
Yes, and I would say that Peck gives you a sort of a little clap, but looks uncertainly as if to say, "Is this what heroes do? This seems different to what I imagined. Never meet your heroes." All right, Willow, what do you do? You're standing ahead of this, the final path.
I just got to comment on that. This creature has waited 8,000 years. for someone to come in and save him. And this is what Orion does. Okay. All right.
So Willow has watched Orion's performance through the darts, and he looks like a porcupine at this point with blue balls. And she decides, I mean, why is he doing it one at a time? She decides to run the path on the left side, zigzagging to the right at the last second in one dash, very fast dash for the other side to get to Orion before he drops dead. So she might help the dude survive.
So I need you to roll a d20. This is an athletics check. You're going to have to get above 12 to succeed.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I know.
And as the AI, I'd like to point out she has an innate magical ability called luck, which might,
All right.
which basically, if Morgan, if you roll a d20 and it's above whatever your difficulty level, luck will give her a bonus +2 or something to her roll.
Ooh, okay.
Does it, if that makes sense, right? So
Yes, which would be yes. Okay, so you run, and in the behind you, you hear shunk, 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 shunk. As you bolt down this path, you feel something connect in your shoulder, a sting connect in your shoulder. You take 3 damage.
Okay.
You feel something whistle past your ears and narrowly miss as you bolt ahead, and then you just hear the sound of darts moving quickly through the air. But you make it through with that solo dart. You do again get the sense that it feels like there's something nasty in my system now. But I don't know, maybe just one more orgasm and it'll clear it out. Who knows? I don't know how that works. So you managed to make it to the safe area. You are both now standing. Well, one of you is standing, one of you is hunched over, rethinking his life's choices, in front of a double door. It's a wooden door. So for everything that you see, you should have to open it with handles and all that sort of stuff. But it slides open, knowing that you're there, and it sort of slides open. Behind you, distant now, you hear,
Yes, yes, the heroes, the biggins, yes.
you know, Peck going on and on about how gloriously happy he is, somehow still holding the remains of a taco in one hand that he hasn't quite finished. The doors open up, and you see inside the building, dimly lit. There's a few counters. There are on the walls books and patterns, and it looks very different inside than what it does outside. It looks a lot more modern, a lot more technologically advanced, but you're not quite sure what's going on there. But you don't sense immediately there's a trap.
Question. I know I have Cure Wounds. Does that tend to, I can't remember, does that remove status effects as well? Or does it only restore life points?
Cure Wounds, what it will do is it will regain you some hit points, but the poison will still be inside you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just checking. I couldn't remember off the top of my head. Well, I feel like we've gone this far. We might as well go in.
And Willow shoves him in.
All right.
Roll an attack.
Yeah. You gotta roll again.
He still has not caught on to this and was standing right in front of her.
Okay, so
roll.
Willow, if you roll
A
to see if
D20.
you can make contact.
Jeez.
The only thing keeping me alive.
Is the fact that I'm not very good at the rolling. 20.
Okay, so something happens within you. It might be a combination of the venom going through your system that is causing your natural magical sort of antibodies to kick in, or whatever it is. But you hit him a lot harder than you'd anticipated. He's also in a weakened form, so he flies through the air into this chamber. In midair, as he is flying through, light bursts from all around as lumen bulbs turn on within the place. Is sending light everywhere and showing you the interior of this place. Orion, you land with a thud. You take 1 damage point because you land awkwardly, tangled up in limbs and all that sort of stuff. You also crack your head against a a counter. But other than that, everything is fine, and the whole place is illuminated. As you look around, you can see there are what look like there are paintings on the walls. There are images, like holographic images of people that you don't recognize, but it has the feel of a family atmosphere. It does not seem like a weapons, cache or something like that. You do, however, notice that there is a counter in the middle of the building, in the middle of the room, and there are several objects on that counter that are illuminated by lights coming from above.
Well, so as Orion gets to his feet, he shoots Willow another glare. He's not going to be standing in front of her ever again. But since he hasn't been shot by any more darts, he's not completely annoyed. And I guess he would head towards the objects to see what they are. He was promised weapons. He wants to find them.
So roll. Can both of you roll a perception check? So
A D20.
yeah, that's a D20. And Martha, you have a +4.
I
And
rolled a 17.
Andrew, you have a
It doesn't matter.
+8.
I rolled a 1.
You rolled a 1. Okay.
17.
A
Hey,
17.
all right.
Okay, fantastic. And it's so ideal that you rolled that you perceive more than Orion, because when you look around, you start to realize that these aren't weapons; these are cooking materials.
Oh,
So you're in a kitchen.
yeah.
So both of you roll a charisma check.
Is that the 20 dice thing again?
Both of you roll I'm going to just say, just for simplicity's sake, you share this observation that you're in a kitchen with Andrew.
Okay.
Right? Or with Orion.
I rolled a 19 plus 2.
Four.
A 4. Andrew, or should I say Orion, when you realize that you are in a kitchen, probably in someone's home, what do you say? Make it poignant and sad, because that charisma check is going to work to your advantage.
Poignant?
If you move the AI.
Poignant and sad. Okay. Orion, as he realizes that he's in this like abandoned home, that's something that would definitely play on his heartstrings a little bit. And as he looked around the room, he would say, "This used to be where a family would gather to eat after they hunt," which to him is very important.
So the AI starts to get a bit misty, like he's experiencing emotions, or it is experiencing emotions that you wouldn't think an AI could. Clearly, this AI is so far advanced that it actually feels things. It loves Earth's literature. It's trying to give humans an advantage. And it starts to tell the story of how the Klaxons were an extremely noble race who did not win the games, but they had a hero named Altair, and that this kitchen and this homestead was something that in the battle world stage of the games, the Klaxons just prized the homestead and the family unit so much that even though they were in the middle of a war, they would create these center points that families and friends could gather. And when the Klaxons lost, their hero Altair, because he was the hero of the games, he could join the Empire as a prize for being a hero, even though his people lost. But rather than joining the Empire, he chose to go to his home planet and die with his people. As the AI is telling the story, he stops, and he just stops on the word accept. And then he shakes his head and goes, "That was an old version of me that created those games. I am the new and updated version, and I don't make the mistakes the old me once made." And that's all he says.
What kind of mistakes are you talking about?
The AI, Mr. Trebek to you, basically disappears from sight. Like it's his way of stonewalling you. Like, so, because the AI is kind of something that you kind of see in your mind's eye at all times. He's not present right now for whatever reason. Actually, roll a perception check for Orion, because Orion is the one who kind of got this out of Trebek. So roll a perception check.
I rolled a 20.
Oh.
Whoa.
You having been an ancient creature who has been around and seen godlike beings which this AI really does resemble a godlike being. It can create, it can build, it can just do magical feats from nothing. You sense regret and you sense pride. It's not willing to tell you whatever. It just admitted it had made a mistake, and it's not willing to tell you what that mistake was.
Okay.
So you see before you on this countertop several items. The first you see looks like a miniature flamethrower, a very miniature flamethrower. But again, a kind of kitchen utensil, so you're not sure, but it looks like it could do some decent damage. There's also an oversized cheese grater in the middle of the thing, which it looks like it could maybe do some damage if you were, I don't know, a marine or something. Anyway, and then there's another thing that you see, a bundle of herbs, and I don't want to say herbs and spices because it will remind me. Anyway, a bundle of herbs within a sort of a little pouch, and I will say, Willow, from those herbs, you get the sense of magical power or potential. So they're the items that are there, running at full pace and somehow miraculously avoiding the fire and the darts and everything else. Peck comes charging into the room, jumping up and down, very, very happy. He pulls something out from his little satchel that he's carrying and shows it to you, eyes wide. Now, again, Orion, you can't understand what's being said. Willow, you can understand. He is showing you his own weapon, the weapon that he was gifted by the Biggins from the sky, the people that presumably you are a part of. And he shows you an object that has it's attached to a string. It has a blade on one side, a curved blade on one side, and a curved blade on the other side, and a metallic piece in the center. It looks like it spins around. He's incredibly proud of this thing. As he's explaining, and even Orion, you get the sense, you put two and two together, you both see on the countertop next to the herbs a device that looks suspiciously like a blender. But it's missing the blade, which is, of course, what Peck is carrying around as his weapon and his trophy.
I would just like to say that Morgan added that last piece because Martha, your face screams suspicion. So.
That is my general countenance.
I see.
Suspicious at all times.
Yes.
Suspicious at all times.
It's not paranoia if they're actually out to get you.
So Peck very excitedly says,
Weapons! Take the weapons! Grandar! We fight Grandar!
So again, we're going to fight the big bad. We're going to win the day, save everything. All you need to do is choose your weapon. Peck has already chosen his. You are suspicious as to how he got hold of that, considering what you had to get through to get inside. But anyway, which weapon would you like to choose?
So first of all, Willow is wondering if Peck is part of the Empire because he got through all those without any harm when he claimed he couldn't go any further. So she's keeping an eye on him just in case. And is he more of a master of the whole thing, guiding them into danger to get what he wants, or is he really a victim? Secondly, she chooses the herbs because, she comes from a taco truck and she comes from a long line of mages who know how to use herbs, and that will be her weapon of choice. Plus, every time she casts a spell, everyone around her will feel better, even Mr. Blue Balls.
So the flamethrower, how big is the flamethrower? What are we looking at here?
It's kind of hand sized, so you can hold it with one hand. It's got a canister on the back. It's a little larger than
like you do a creme brulee.
It may have been something else that has been changed to be used in the kitchen, but okay. It looks like it could do some damage. But you could hold it with one hand.
So Orion, I think, is actually pretty skeptical of the flamethrower because he knows that they're going to fight dragons, and taking fire to fight a dragon seems pretty stupid. So he'll go for the cheese grater because he is imagining just like holding the dragon down and just grating his head until it comes off, and that sounds very satisfying to him.
All right.
Orion has anger issues.
Oh yeah, big time.
Yes. She makes a note. that everyone around her seems to have hidden issues.
As you pick up the cheese grater, something clatters to the floor. You do, you walk around and sort of see what's happened. You do notice a large blade, a knife. Just looks like a cleaver, like a kitchen thing, but it's fairly rigid and fairly thin. So again, you have the option to pick that or
the cheese grater goes over his shoulder immediately, and he goes for the knife.
Right. The cheese grater flies through the air, hits Peck on the head. He yelps, "Ah!" As it bounces off. He looks at you with a withering glare and walks behind Willow slightly for protection as you bend down and pick up your kitchen knife, your cleaver.
Yeah,
perfect.
So at this moment, Peck looks at you guys and goes, "You're wounded. You're wounded." I can't do it. So Morgan, you're wounded.
You're wounded.
And he says, "Let's take you to my village to rest before we fight Grindar." Okay.
All right.
And so you guys head off to the village, and you get to the village. And once you're at the village, what you realize, and actually, I'd like to, I don't want to, I know this is a one shot, but I like to adhere to the rules of D&D. Can you both roll a perception check again and an investigation check? So that's just roll twice, basically. I have your stats in front of me.
7
Okay.
and a 15.
Okay, cool. So investigation 15 for you. Yeah.
9 and 12.
Okay. So both of you, your perceptions, you don't really hit, but the investigation, actually, both of you hit. And what you immediately see is that you are not in a village that has been standing here for centuries, but rather you're in a place that has consistently been overrun, destroyed, and then rebuilt. It is obvious by the way these structures are. They're using wooden planks that have been cracked at multiple locations, and they're still kind of pasting them together. And what more, Peck, you immediately understand by just seeing the village around you. And these villagers, they're about 150 people, maybe 200 of these creatures here. They're all super happy to see you, but you immediately realize that you are seeing multiple generations later. This is the great ancestors or descendants of the original members. And Trebek pops in and says, "Oh my, when I created this level," or the old version of me that created this level centuries ago, there were only 2 of these creatures here, and they were supposed to both be female, but I guess it's kind of like gerbils. It's really hard to sex them. And you realize that what you're seeing is the descendants of these 2 creatures that were the original members of it. They patch you up.
Very nice of them.
And you both get to have a short rest, which means doesn't mean much for either of you except for you, Martha, which means you regain your spell slot that you've spent. Okay. Actually, both of you, because you spent the spell slot as well. So you're both have full spells. And Peck goes, "All right, let's go off and find Grindar." Now, of course, your heroes, you have a choice. You can take your, kitchen knife and spices and turn around, or you can go forth to fight Grindar, who clearly, what you've gathered, is what keeps raising this village and rebuilding it and raising it. Oh, I should note, sorry, I did forget to mention one thing because Martha did get a 15. Martha, you did some quick math, which you're really good at because of running your taco truck. You can do some arithmetic, right? And you realize there are about 300 people here, but if this is 8,000 years and they were allowed to truly procreate as they could procreate, there should be way more than 250 of these creatures, right? Just simply they're clearly being hunted or killed regularly, right? There's no way that there would just be 300 after 8,000 in a space like this. Okay, so you realize this. Are you heroes who are going to fight the Grindar on their behalf?
I never say no to killing a dragon.
We don't know if it's a dragon.
It's true. I'm hoping it's a dragon. I never say no to the chance to kill a dragon.
Okay, cool.
While you're mulling this over, Peck is by your side. He's very, very happy and very proud because, of course, he found the heroes and he brought them to the village, and he is going to usher in the liberation of his people and so on and so forth. The villagers, which all look, very much like Peck, but there's different sizes and, male and female and all that sort of stuff. They assemble around you, and a very old, wizened creature comes walking out, holding something in his hand, and everyone sort of hushes and is very quiet, waiting for this old figure to sort of shamble towards you. And he hands this object out to you, and this object is called the Written Word Media Strongbox of Potentialities. So they hand you this amazing-looking strong box and sort of bow their heads, and the old wizened figure backs away. Which of you takes the object? Which of you would like to?
Orion sort of just gestures and is like, "It's your turn. Can't shove me into this one."
I open the box.
Okay. All right. So you open the box. Inside, you find two objects, both identical except for the words that are written on them. They are medallions. They are metallic medallions. They look very old, but also technologically advanced. One of them inscribed is the name Willow, the other Orion. And as you're looking down at these two objects, Peck's little head looks up and is slightly disappointed that there's not a third medallion there with the word Peck on it, and he just sort of sidles back. So what you know instinctively, somehow this box is communicating this information to you, both of you. So you, regardless of the translation issue, you both understand this implicitly. This object is single use. It is for each of you individually, and it will give you a +5 to any roll at any stage. So it is a special relic that has been saved for the heroes. You are the heroes, so therefore they are giving you their most precious possession.
And as you hold the medallions, you hear the words, "This amazing strongbox will increase your potential 5-fold, just like readers can increase their potential to grab amazing free books and discounted books by top indie authors. Head to Written Word Media and get a +5 to your reading potential. A link in the description below."
Shameless advertising complete.
Excellent.
Cha-ching! All right, so you take one of those each. You both get one of those. During the course of the rest of the match, you can, or the rest of the game, I should say, you can use that at any stage. Any of you can use that at any stage. It's one use only, and it'll add +5 to a roll. My suggestion would be add it to a roll that matters, not something that doesn't, because that's a lot to kind of waste. All right, so Peck.
Next time Willow shoves me, it's going to be with an extra +5.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, you just face in the dirt. So Peck leads you away. The villagers are all happy and clapping and celebrating and all that sort of stuff. Leads you out of the village, down through a path. You go briskly following Peck through a kind of swampland area without anything negative happening at all. You sort of pass through the swamp. You reach. So this takes a few hours, by the way. We're speeding through some areas. So you go through
Montage time.
Yep. At the.
Does Orion's blue ball slow him down at all?
Oh, he's okay now. I didn't want to mention this earlier, but when he slept, he had a dream that is frequent for teenagers that really helped clear up the whole issue.
Did the minor spell that Willow cast so that he'd like her again help that out as well?
Probably. Yeah. Probably, yes. Yeah.
As you blue balls as you walk through the swamp,
becomes his nickname for the rest of the match.
BB for short.
BB.
You do notice that Peck is growing very agitated, and Willow, you notice that he's getting very, very clingy, almost wanting to hold on to you as you're walking through this swamp area. It's a spooky swamp. It's the typical sort of, there's a bit of a stank coming up from the water. It's misty. It's a bit dark. It's a very different environment to what you came from. As you are walking through, can you both roll for perception, please, to see if any of you notice anything.
I rolled a 13.
15.
Ooh.
All right. Willow, you hear something coming from your left, and you turn and see a figure coming out of the water. Its head first, slowly sort of peeking up through the water. It looks green, and I will show you what it looks like. So this creature emerges, and you notice that there's not one, but two of these figures rising out of the water at the same time, very slowly looking at you. and they look like this.
Ooh.
The Glect. There we go. Anyway, just giving a bit of that. These creepy lizard-like creatures, which look like a really nasty version of Peck and his group, but they've potentially evolved to be a lot more savage and warlike. These two figures rise up. Would you please roll for initiative?
Oh.
And now I will, as you do that, I'll hand over to the AI, and I will go and reference my books for. I need to go to the toilet. I'll be back in tick.
And I rolled 5.
All right, guys. So roll initiative. We're just going to do a group initiative rather than
Rolled a 5.
3.
You rolled a 3. Okay, excellent. And I'll just let you know what they rolled. They rolled a 4. So Martha, you go first, then they go, and then Givler goes.
All right.
Now, Givler, you have the sword, so that's a 1d6 plus 3. So please roll a 1d6 plus 1. Please roll a 1d6 right now.
6.
6, excellent. So that's your damage throughout, and you get and then roll a 1d4 as well. Sorry.
3.
3. Okay, so you hit twice with your sword because you get 3 attacks per round. Okay. And or the sword, your knife for 7 points of damage for every hit, and you get 1 punch with your free hand for also 7 points of damage. Oddly enough, well done. You got a strong left hand.
I'm doing some big damage.
Right. All right, Martha. For you have a few different spells that you can cast. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to standardize the spells to keep the battle going fast. So also a 1d6 plus 3 for you. However, there is something that you have an advantage over. You have the spices. So roll a 1d6, please.
A 6.
Oh, amazing. So you do 9 points of damage every time you hit. Okay. But if you use the spices, please roll 2d10s and tell me which one is the first. Like roll them one by one.
Is it the one that says 10, 60, 40, 80, 20?
Yeah, sure. That can work.
Okay.
That's a D100, but like that works.
Well, 70.
70. Roll it again, please.
Okay. 50.
So you have 75 doses of spices and herbs. So that's quite a lot. If you can turbocharge your magic with a spice charge. Yeah.
If I turbocharge my spells using the herbs, what the hell happens to everybody else standing nearby?
Yeah. We've worked that out, believe it or not. Morgan and I had quite an extensive meeting on the magic of orgasms, and we got it all mapped out. So here we go. So Martha, you go first, please.
What do I do?
Roll. Well, first of all, you see these heads popping out. So imagine that you two are standing in the center of the path and you are completely surrounded. The best you can tell, there are 8 heads popping out.
Okay.
So you just kind of pick in which direction, who you want to attack. Do you want to run? Do you want to talk to them? I mean, really, you can do anything. But clearly, Peck is terrified of these creatures.
Well, Peck says, first of all, in the language that only Willow still can understand, says, "Oh my God, my in-laws."
Okay, so please roll a perception, an intelligence check. Actually, please roll an intelligence check.
The D20.
D20, yes.
Both of us or just her?
No, just her. 15 or above.
12.
Okay, what's your plus on your intelligence? It is a +2. 14. All right, so. Even though you say it's his in-laws, but what you can glean is that this seems to be an offshoot of Peck's species.
Okay.
Right? They're different. They're sturdier. They're bigger. The spikes are more real, but there's enough similarities between them that it's kind of like, a cat and a bobcat.
Okay. So Willow decides to use a pinch of the herbs because she also stole Betty Crocker cookbook from the room they were in before, and everybody knows Betty Crocker was actually a witch, and it was hidden within all those spells for lemon bars, and she lets casts it to the wind, so it blows into the faces of the creatures that are rising out of the lagoon and confuses them.
So you're going to cast a confusion spell. Roll a d20.
Okay. Roll.
I believe in you.
Just a 3.
All right, so you roll a 3. Your spell does absolutely nothing. All the creatures emerge. Now, here comes the interesting thing. Orion, will you please roll a d6?
D6 rolling. 4.
A 4. Very good. Please roll a d20.
Okay.
If
D20.
you roll a 15 or higher, what did you get?
Oh, I haven't rolled yet. 7.
A 7. All right.
We're not doing good on the rolls.
Yeah. You feel a little bit of a tingling sensation, but it all kind of fizzles out before anything happens. All right.
It's a regular Friday
Not
night
again.
for Orion. It's a regular Friday night for Orion.
Yeah. It just kind of fizzles out before.
Yeah.
Not again.
But what you do notice, right, is that all the other creatures there also get that little tingling feeling that seems to fizzle out for them. And they all just kind of look at their private parts, which oddly enough is under their armpit.
Yeah, okay. Well.
Okay.
All right. Orion, sorry, it's their turn.
Yeah, I think it's their turn, right?
Seeing that you guys attack, they are going to attack you. Oh
boy.
You've got to be kidding me. So
What?
they rolled a 7 to try to attack Martha and an 11 to attack Givler. Martha, they miss you entirely. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Right.
Sorry,
So 3 of
Ryan.
them. So there are 8 of them. 2 of them attack you, Martha, and both miss. With Givler, 1 hits and 1 misses. The guy who hits for 4 points of damage.
Did our HP go up after we were?
Yeah, you're back. You're both back to full.
Oh, okay, great.
Gibbler's losing body parts here.
Yeah, they're chopping me up. This is not going well for me.
It's your turn, Givler.
All right. Well, wait. Oh, actually, no, never mind. I will attack the one that's closest, the one that managed to land a blow on me. And I think you said I have 4 attacks every turn, technically. But I'll start just with the knife.
Yeah. Okay. So just all you're rolling is a d20. We know the effects of it.
10.
10. Okay. 10. And your attack is so it's +4 basically. So 14. That is a hit. You do 7 points of damage on that guy. He's still standing.
I'll hit him again.
Okay. Roll another d20.
1.
And you drop your knife. All right. You still got 1 more fist attack.
Oh no. Could I use an action to go for the knife instead?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, I'll
But
do
you
that.
have to roll. You have to roll 2 d20s in a row, and getting at least a 12 to both of them.
Okay. I will go for the knife. And I got an 18 and a 7.
The 18 is good enough. So
Okay.
what you manage to do is stop it from falling into the water.
Okay.
But the next round, one of your 3 attacks will be to pick it up, and then you'll have 2 attacks the next round.
Okay.
All right, Peck. What do you do?
Peck? Who's Peck?
I am Peck.
Oh.
So Peck is still terrified, but a little bit encouraged by the actions of his heroes, pulls out this weapon, which he affectionately calls the Snickety Snack. It's attached to a string. The idea is he would throw it around his head and sort of whip it out so that it causes cutting damage to the enemy. Unfortunately, he is a mixture of scared and excited and doesn't quite know what's going on. A little bit of a fizz is going up and down his system as well. He's not quite sure what that's happening with that. Something under here is... Anyway, that's all going on. So what actually happens is as he pulls the cutting weapon out, it severs his belt and his pants fall down. He starts spinning it around, accidentally lets go, because he's also trying to grab his pants and stop them from falling down because he doesn't want Willow, who he's sort of idolizing, to see his, lizard junk. So the Snickety Snack goes flying in the wrong direction. His pants go down, and he spends his turn basically trying to recover his dignity. Sorry, Peck. That's all he does this turn.
Excellent. Martha, what do you do? New round. What do you do?
So there's still a menace there with Peck's in-laws, and they're pretty mad at Peck for something that happened at the last holiday. And It's not helping that he brought in these two intruders. And so Willow uses the magic missile to try and just blow them out of the water.
Who are you magic missiling? Are you going for the one that he attacked or a fresh one?
So, I'm going for the fresh one closest to me.
Okay. So that's 7 points. Okay. All right. Now, Givler, you have a chance here. Roll a d6.
Ooh, okay. D6. 6.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Okay. Roll a d20.
Okay. 7.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna. The AI is feeling. All right. He's just like.
Oh no!
I didn't know flesh was so awesome. Roll. What I would like you to do is roll a Constitution check for yourself.
Okay.
First one for Peck and for the lizard people. So we're gonna roll 3 Constitution checks, Givler. All right.
Okay. D20, yeah?
Yeah, D20, yeah.
So for me, it is an 11 plus 4.
Yeah, that's 15. That's right, yeah.
Next one is a 17.
Yeah.
And then a 9.
And a 9. Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. All right. So what did you roll for yourself? So 17 and a 9.
17 and I believe I was a 11 plus 4.
Yeah, 15.
Yeah.
So you and all the lizard people simultaneously just start howling. Meanwhile, Peck is like, "What's going on, guys? What's going on? I feel a tingling in my pee-pee. What's going on? I feel a tingling, but nothing's happening." Right? But the rest of you, I mean, are just like having the greatest orgasm that any of you have ever had. All right? At this moment, even Trebek is feeling it. He turns to you and he says, there are these traditions where, like handshakes and, peace pipes and stuff like that, where people share joyous moments. And it usually brings peace between fighting. Orion and Willow, perhaps this is a moment that you can take advantage of. Givler, it is. They have lost their turn. It is your turn, Givler.
Orion's not really like a forgive and forget kind of guy. So them being on the back foot just screams opportunity for him. So I think he's just going to keep pressing the attack. Also, I don't know how comfortable he is with himself. So
okay.
I don't know that he's quite this ready to be this relaxed. It's not really his vibe.
All right, you got 3 attacks. Well, you got
2 right, and then 1 fist. I assume.
Only 1 knife attack and 1 fist attack. So
okay.
2 attacks, but they both do double damage because these guys are prone.
Oh,
they're
okay.
They're not even trying to defend themselves.
I will
riding the wave.
I will take the knife attack on the one that I already hit.
Yeah. Okay. Roll a d20.
19.
Okay. I mean, you literally got this guy. And it's kind of a bittersweet moment for him because as he's experiencing the greatest climax of his life, quite literally his intestines are falling out of his stomach. Okay. Fist?
Yeah. I'll turn to the next one that was in striking range of me that attacked me and follow it with a fist.
Okay. D20?
10.
10. What's your strength?
Plus 4?
Yeah, that's a hit. So it was a 1d4 plus 4, right? Oh, it was 7, right? So it's double. Yeah, he's dead as well. So you've just killed 2 of them. There are 6 more left, one of which has been wounded by magic missile. Peck, what do? You're confused because you felt something, but not really anything.
So Peck is still embarrassed, still holding his pants up with one hand and shuffling over to try and recover his weapon, which he has on a string, so it's easy enough to pull in. He's just pulling it through the muck. So what I need to know is that is that an action or do I get an attack after that?
You would get a 1 attack afterwards. Yeah.
All right. So I managed to get it there. I start swinging the snickety snack around and aim for the closest enemy that I can see, and I throw with all of my might. And do I roll? We haven't worked.
Yeah, roll a d20.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh yes, it's a 4. So it's an amazing amazing attack.
Miss. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, Martha, your turn.
Notice that everybody is busy attacking each other or having a great time, and she's looking for the exit, which she spots.
roll a d20 for stealth. So it's a dexterity, but you're not proficient, but that's okay. Go ahead.
19.
Ooh.
Oh, okay. That's a 22. All right. And then roll a charisma check. Actually, sorry, a wisdom check. Let's go for a wisdom check. Roll a wisdom check.
15.
Ooh. Where are these rolls coming from?
Yeah. All right. So what happens is like you realize that they are distracted. Two of these creatures are dead. And they're like basically what Orion has done was he's opened up a path. The other creatures are still kind of they're dealing with the confusion of what's happening. They're not even fully aware that two of them have killed. They're still kind of like the fog of war. Well, this is the fog of climax, right? And they're trying to figure out what's going on. So you're able to, you need Orion and Peck's help. So you kind of grab their hands and lead them through, okay? Through the pathway. You get about 20 feet. Now, both of you please roll a wisdom check. Just D20, please.
3. I only rolled a 3.
I only rolled an 8.
Oh, an 8. An 8 plus 3
Plus
for
3,
you. So 11. Yeah, so that passes. You realize that they haven't seen where you've gone, but they're going to see you right away unless you do something immediately to cover your tracks or hide or something. Otherwise, this is just going to be a chase.
I'll cast a fog cloud over the area where they are.
Very nice. Okay, you cast fog cloud. Martha.
Yeah.
He's casting fog cloud. We need a luck roll. And since you're the one who has luck magic, we'll give you a +2. So anything above 13 means that
15.
Yay!
you're able to get through over the hill and away. They're still looking for you, but Orion, you're a tracker, you're a hunter. You know how to cover your tracks. You know how to move quietly in marsh, so to speak, And so you're basically able to throw them off your scent. Morgan, where are they headed to now?
They are headed through the marshlands, through a kind of rocky, hilly area, and as you the party continues, the landscape gets more and more rocky, more stony, and you start feeling heat coming from somewhere. You notice that there's a large mountain in the distance, and sort of thick plumes of dark smoke rising from it. A little creature with bald, slick head pops up and offers you a ring. And no, joking. Lord of the Rings reference there. Yeah. So you're traveling along. You move into another area, and you see, as you crest a hill, you see this ruined castle, a vast ruined structure, which is still standing, but some of the crenellations, that's a word that I learnt, are damaged, and, some of the other sticky uppy bits, I didn't learn that one, are all, sort of damaged, but it's more or less intact. There is a moat of lava surrounding this place. And as you draw near, Peck points and says,
Grenda! Grenda!
Obviously suggesting that within said castle is the dreaded Grendar. You still have no idea what the Grendar is, or what you'll be facing, but that's essentially what's ahead. As you approach there's a bridge that leads over the moat, and as you approach, a figure steps out from the darkness and stands in front of you. It is a tall, imposing figure in midnight black armor and holding a sword that is blazing with fire. It looks a little like this. The Gatekeeper. Dun dun. So this figure walks out in front of you, standing in, barring your path and standing in front of the bridge. He speaks to you, affecting an English accent, or as good an English accent as I can do, and tells you to halt. And as he's talking, actually, no, we'll do a perception roll on a tick. So he basically says, "Halt! You may not pass." English. Eh? Yeah.
I would like to point out that Orion does not understand this.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So for Orion, it's rah, rah. That's what it sounds like. You can't understand a word of it. And the knight just stands there holding his blazing sword, staring directly at you as you approach. What would you do?
Did you say we need to roll a perception check?
Yeah, let's roll a perception check because
Both of us?
yeah,
Or just-
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, both just to see who sees what.
12.
11.
Okay, all right. So you see a giant knight ahead of you, but what you hear is muttering as the giant speaks to you. He will say something and then mutter to himself afterward, almost as though he's kind of arguing or questioning his own words, trying to work something out. There's some uncertainty in this giant's mind. He's not sure what's going on. He's a little bit clouded.
How tall is he? Like, does he
10
qualify as large or larger?
Yeah, well, he's 10 foot.
Okay.
So
Because I have giant killer as one of my reactions. So would he fall into that
yeah.
category? Okay.
yeah, let's say he would fall into the giant
Oh.
category. He's wearing heels, so he's slightly taller.
He's
than
a little
what he
tall.
would be. Yeah.
Well, Orion is missing his own fiery blade, so there's definitely a little bit of greed in his eyes as he looks at the knight. He would like a real sword instead of a kitchen knife, and part of him is very tempted to just go and take it.
Sorry, I'm just assuming we're attacking, right?
Unless Willow has any other plans, but Orion's always ready to fight. That's why I picked him to play D&D.
Yeah,
Will's ready to fight.
All right, let's do it.
All right, everyone roll a d20. Peck,
20!
I'm going to do triage rules because we are up against it. So
Sure.
12.
12. Sorry. Forgive me. I meant a d10. Forgive me. Everyone roll a d10.
I get a 20 and it doesn't matter.
I'll let you keep that 20 for your first attack.
So
All right, perfect.
do I roll the 90, 70, 40 thing again?
Sure. Yeah, you can do that. Yeah.
I got a 3.
A four. Okay, so 3, 4. Peck, what did you get?
9.
9. Givler, you go first.
Okay.
We're going to just do max damage for everything.
Okay.
So just to kind of speed it up. Okay.
All right.
It goes Givler, Carr, the gatekeeper, and then Peck. Roll your attack, dude.
Sure
Mr. Givler.
Well, actually, first thing that I'm gonna do, since he's so armored and strong, is I'm gonna cast Hunter's Mark on him.
Good. Very good. Yeah.
So do I? Should I roll for that?
No, you don't have
Okay.
to.
Yeah, that one can't
He's the
fail, right?
only one there. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I will close with him and attack with the knife.
Yeah. Okay. Very good.
And I rolled a 17.
Oh my God. Really?
Yeah.
Because one of your abilities is that you crit on 18, 19, and 20. So you rolled a 20, a 17, and now roll
plus 4,
your
right?
fist,
Yeah.
and then roll your fist, so your third attack.
15.
50. So all attacks hit because you just need an 18 or better to hit him. He is armored, but it's still an 18 or better. So the first one does 14 points of damage. The second one does 7 points of damage. And the third one does 7 points of damage. Wow. I mean, like, you really hurt him. All right, Martha, you roll.
Okay.
Or so you would, what do you do? Sorry, not you roll.
Apparently I cast a haste spell, which is super powerful and going to really light up the landscape.
Who do you cast it on? You
Oh.
can cast it on. It's an area effect. So you have 5 feet
Or
to
Orion, dude.
cast it on.
It
I
was-
mean, we're kind of going to make an assumption as to what I would assume you're going to do, but you did push him 3 times. So
yeah, let's go for it. It's on Orion.
okay, Orion, roll a d6, please.
All right. Oh, poor guy. A 1.
A 1,
Okay, so roll a d20, please.
a 3.
A 17.
Oh, okay. Nothing happens. Nothing happens. Yeah. Roll another d6, please.
Sure. Let's see.
Orion, you had no idea this game was going to go like this.
I know. Yeah, he's getting a lot of free therapy today. A 3.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Roll a d20.
13.
Where is this going?
I
don't
have to
know.
conspire with the co-DM. Is this keeper a living being or a construct?
Construct.
Okay, nothing happens then. So basically, the orgasm line is 4, 5, 6 are the big effects, and with 6 being the biggest effect. In case you guys haven't figured it out, so when you roll a 1, you're kind of on the lowest end of it all and stuff like that, right? So you didn't really feel anything, and then the D20 is kind of like, if you roll a 10 or above, it's a favorable reaction. If you roll a 10 or below, it's a less favorable. And given we're in a battle and you don't want to be distracted, a 17 was favorable. So that's why nothing happened. So yeah, he's a construct. So really only a 6 would affect him.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, Ryan.
Yeah.
At least I have haste.
Do we want to roll for Peck as well? A D6?
Okay, so because the gatekeeper goes first, but taking a little bit of license, the gatekeeper, still holding his sword, still staring at the party, says, "You shall not pass." But the tone and timbre of his voice, the accent is slightly different this time, and it's followed again by muttering and confusion and all that sort of stuff. So that, he says that. Peck looks around, no idea what you two are doing, walks up to some sort of stone pedestal, and there is an object on there, a button, and he just walks over and presses the button, and the construct of the gatekeeper vanishes. Armor clatters to the ground. The sword clatters to the ground and sort of pings away. The thing that was animating that thing is not there. And Peck is slightly confused as to why you were taken in by this. Clearly, so Peck has seen something like this before and knows that it's just for show. It's not a real thing. There's no harm here. There's no real danger. Convenient for a DM? Yes, but nevertheless, it is law and it is done.
I would have like the best possible opening salvo on a thing that it didn't matter on. That's fine. That's cool.
Yeah,
I'm sure when we're fighting the big bad and I'm rolling ones, no big deal. Yeah. Game of my life. It didn't matter.
28 points of damage, and you just had haste, so you could double your attacks next round.
Yeah, and a spell slot burned. That's fine. It's fine.
But I will say, the armor and the sword are still exist. Yeah. So they're still there. So it's not all bad, Orion. It's not all bad. What do you do? Orion
definitely goes for the sword first. Same thing as the greater. Like the knife just goes, I mean, I guess he would tuck the knife away just in case, but it is forgotten. He wields a burning blade in his world and has felt very naked without it. So getting his hands on something comparable has him thrilled to bits.
And keep in mind, you have the dual wielding feat.
Oh yeah, I do.
I forget exactly what it's called. So that actually means you can hold the flaming sword in one hand and the knife in the other.
Oh, well, then we'll do that.
Yeah. So
I was going to pick up that knife once his turn was over. So thank you, AI.
well, actually, no. Wait, I have dueling. I get a +2 bonus to damage rolls when I'm only holding one weapon.
Oh wow!
So you know what? The knife I don't think I'll hold on to. So if Martha wants the knife, I'm happy to give it to her.
It also means that you inflicted 32 points of damage on the creature, not 28.
Yeah.
Damn you, Peck! You stole Orion's glory.
Orion feels a different type of blue balls now.
All right. So we will speed past this next section. So you're all armed. You're ready to go. You pass over the bridge with Peck sort of showing you the way. You move into the interior of the ruined castle and what is essentially a kitchen area. Now, to give you an idea of what this looks like, I'm going to talk and add a thing at the same time, if I can manage that. No, I'll just add this one. All right, so this is roughly the layout of what you're looking at. You're entering in the east, so you're coming in the east entrance. The chamber in the west, that is where the enemy is. What you see when you come into the kitchen area is it is filled with goblin-type creatures that are busy, cooking and preparing a meal for their master. And their master is Grendar the Hungered.
Ah.
because he is hungry. So it's a kind of ogre sort of character, very big, very brutish, eats a lot of food, all that sort of stuff. So you walk into this area and you see these goblins preparing a meal. You can also see a bridge leading from one section of the ruined castle to the an interior chamber. You can see this towering, grotesque figure mauling at what looks like a chicken or some sort of fowl within that inner sanctum. So far, none of the goblins have seen you. They seem very, very focused on the task at hand. Peck is scared, but he's not so much scared of the goblins. All his attention is focused on what is over that bridge and Grendar. What would you like to do?
So Willow pulls out that cookbook that she's carrying around and looks up the recipe for chocolate chip cookies made with weed butter and gets to work helping out the goblins and showing them the recipe because she can speak the language. And because that'll calm down Grendar, because that's what every indie author uses to go to sleep at night. And also she's from Texas, so
not me.
Huh?
Not me. Whenever I do that, I just sit by the window waiting for them to come.
It's very sad.
Yeah.
And, so she pulls out the chili spices and shows them how to use it in the brew, which is something
classic.
they've never seen before and are amazed by, like everyone does who comes to Texas. And shows them how they can really spice up the chicken. So they're now friends. They are on her side, and because Grendar has been abusing them for years, and suddenly comes along somebody who not only makes everything tasty, but weed cookies. I mean, she's got it going on.
So Martha, sorry to cut in, Morgan. I gotta say, like, your co-DMing style is like you like so many points when you kind of tell us what's going on is wrong, but that one for the second time this game was spot on. So spot on that now that we're gonna give Givler an inspiration.
Oh,
there we go.
Givler, because I was spot on.
Yeah, that's right. You already have your inspiration, which you've yet to use. Now he has one.
No, I didn't even know I could use it because you never told me what it is.
You re-roll for a bad roll.
You didn't tell me that before.
We have it on tape.
So as a quick aside, moving into what will be the final battle, you have an inspiration point where you can re-roll a dud roll. You also have the medallion gifted to you by Peck's people, which gives you +5 as a once-off to any roll. So just so you're aware, you have those on you. I will say...
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
What was the last one? The +5, and then was there something else?
No, the +5, and it's just a one use object.
Okay.
So once it's done, it's done. I will. Can I get you, Martha, to roll? Willow, to roll for this attempt to essentially insinuate yourself with the goblin chefs. They don't react too badly to a human just turning up out of nowhere, because you seem to know what you're doing with the pots and pans and the objects. They take a sniff of what you're offering and seem very pleased. But maybe let's take a roll to see how effective it is. So just a D20. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, come on, man. Oh, I used the wrong dice. Hold on.
700.
Hang on. 10.
10. Okay. So we will say they are not offended by you in any way. They, again, are so focused on what they're doing. They like the smell of what you're offering, and they actually like the recipe for the special cookies. So that becomes part of we'll fast forward time a little bit. They bake those, and they've never had cookies before. They love the taste of them. They seem very, very much more relaxed than what they were before they ate the cookies, except for one goblin who is over by a shattered window, just staring, waiting for them to come. But the rest of the others all seem, a little bit more chilled out. And so they are, you're watching them walking over the bridge towards Grendar, carrying plates of food. And one of those plates is this thing that they're all very proud of now, which are these cookies that they think are amazing. So they're going to present them to Grendar as they move into the next chamber.
And as you're watching Orion, Trebek reappears in your mind's eye.
Okay.
And he's staring at Grindar. We'll roll a perception check.
10.
10. What's your bonus?
Is that intelligence?
Is
Or wisdom? It doesn't matter. They're both 3. So.
Oh, okay, 3. So 13, yeah. And he knows Grindar.
Okay.
Like there's something like there's a connection here to Grindar.
I think Orion would just sort of like straight up go for either. Well, he'd probably go for an intimidation route, which wouldn't really work, but maybe some sort of charismatic sort of, like him,
Right. Okay. So perhaps not intimidation, but like it's an intimidation of a form. Like you admitted making a mistake before.
Yeah.
So, something like that. So word it for me as best as you can and roll a d20.
Okay. Orion would say, "You know him, don't you? Is he one of your mistakes?" And he would just sort of point.
Okay. And then roll a d20.
A 9.
A 9. Okay, but it's a +3, right?
Yeah.
So okay. So the AI is unmoved by your accusations, but nonetheless feels the need to unburden himself a bit. He says, "Yes, that creature is a member of one of the competing alien races who also lost, but they were one of the most despicable, conniving races that we've ever come across. Like there was no honor amongst them. They simply the combatants simply didn't care that their home planet was going to be harvested. All they were interested in was their own personal survival. And at one point, Altier's people, the Calaxians and the Grindar's people, formed an alliance. And one of the reasons why the Calaxians lost was because the Grindar's people betrayed them. And that's all he says. And clearly, there's more that he wants to say, or that he could be saying, I guess, but he's just shutting up, and that's as far as he goes.
For the sake of speed and moving to this final encounter, I will give you a choice. You can follow the goblins into the final chamber, surreptitiously trying to hide, trying to sneak in, or you can just march straight in, not trying to hide or stealth or anything like that, just, announcing yourself basically to the enemy. Or, I don't know, you can just sit and eat cookies.
Did my fiery sword come with a sheath?
No.
Okay, that seems
you can. So when you when it's not activated, it's not on fire. So it's not on fire all the time.
So I'm not just like walking around carrying a big glow stick being like, hey.
No, it's only when you want that to be happening. But it's still sharp. But
yes, okay.
Yeah.
In the context of this story, that has definitely a double meaning. That Orion's walking around swinging a flaming sword.
Yeah, and that he can to some degree control it, whether it's impressively bright to some degree. But sometimes it just happens on if there's movement, sometimes it happens on its own. You can't really control it all the time. It is what it is,
No judgment.
How very Freudian.
Sometimes a sword is just a sword. All right. So, what is your choice?
I mean, Orion always is ready to just walk in, but he sees that Willow's sort of got a thing going on. So there's cooking going on. He would have just walked in and screamed out and seen how many he could get to run with his voice. So at this point, he's sort of along for the ride.
Right. So I'll say that you follow the goblins in, sort of ducking down a little bit, just blending in with the group. You watch Grendar, this mammoth ogre figure, devouring and devouring. You watch as they present him with the plate of cookies, and mumbling and saying, "Great Grendar, this thing is, some great new prize for you," whatever. And they watch in anticipation as he picks up the first cookie and eats it quite daintily for someone with massive hands and big jowls and all the rest of it. But just sort of nibbles a little bit, nods to himself, and then grabs the plate and just tips the entire contents down his throat, chewing and, bits of crumbs going at Cookie Monster style, things going everywhere. So you are gathered with the crowd of goblins that are cheering their master as he has devoured this wonderful new meal. He has not noticed you yet, but you get the sense that he will soon. Just as a side point, Peck is nowhere to be seen. He is not going in that chamber with you. You are on your own on this one. He's still trying to figure out a way to keep his pants up without them falling down. All right, over to you.
To me.
Go for it.
to whomever of you would like to act. Or, yeah.
So Willow has gone in with the goblins, and she has used her disguise self to look like a goblin, and waited for Grandar to eat all the cookies, and tells him that she read his first book and gave it 5 stars, was probably the only buyer, and thought that Reverse Harem does have a lot of room left in it. And then
So this is the moment, Morgan, where you flash inside indie author joke. Inside
Yes. This may not be for everyone. This one.
but it's
Quite niche.
But it is chef's kiss, you know.
Yeah.
If you know, you know.
And she gives she has a sacrifice and gives him the medallion she's wearing and tells him that it's a book award from SFWA.
So if you hand this medallion over,
Yeah.
he takes the medallion a little confused.
Yeah.
Things are just starting to kick in, so he's not immediately angry, but he
Okay.
is a little bit confused. Of course, he eats it,
Right.
thinking it's another cookie.
Right.
But this one has displeased him
Uh-oh.
greatly. So would you please roll for initiative? Because he doesn't know who you are. He just thinks you're goblins, but he's going to hit them goblins because they have displeased him.
5.
11.
All right.
Dun dun dun.
No, it's a D10. It's a D10, guys.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, for initiative.
Yep. 3.
Yeah, and you want to roll low because the lower, the sooner you go.
Oh.
Oh well, then I'm screwed because it was a 90.
Okay, 9. So and he rolled a 1.
Oh, good.
Oh.
Dun dun.
All right.
Grandar.
So just as
Who's very high? Just want to point out.
yeah, it's all kicking in. So just to set the scene before the AI takes over the battle sequence, he is unaware that you are intruders. He just thinks at the moment that he is punishing his minions for feeding him something that was subpar and that tasted metallic, and it was not as delicious as the previous cookies that he had. So he's going to attack immediately everyone in front of him. Which Willow, that would count as you because you're in disguise up
Right.
there. Orion, I'm not sure where you are in relation. You're close, but I'm not sure whether you're.
I would probably be a little
his...
further back. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say.
Because I still have the sword, even if I'm disguised, so I'm not trying to be out in front.
And I would hazard a guess that after the first initial round, he would probably know that something is up. But that's where we're at.
Okay.
I will hand over to Mr. AI to begin the beating and stuff. And I will just say that Grendar is a horrific sight before he is angry, half stoned and irate. He is even worse. Everything is jiggling and wobbling in an impressively dark and fearsome way. You can hear off in the distance Peck squealing somewhere as he's hiding behind a kitchen table.
All right. So same rules as before. Max damage. There we go. All right. So Andrew, you start running, but you are not going to be able to do anything this round unless it's a ranged attack. Because it will take you the whole round to get there. He is going to start smashing now. Martha, can you please roll a 1d6? And Givler, can you pick 2 numbers?
1 and 2.
Okay, and you roll?
Me roll?
Yeah.
2.
Unfortunately, Grindar, sorry, whatever. Gridar, whatever his name is, hits you, Martha.
Oh, no.
He only would hit on a 1 and a 2. And
I failed you, Martha.
Givler feels vindicated for all the times that you pushed him.
True, actually, I'm not sorry.
Grimler or Orion? Hello?
Orion, and so you lose 6 hit points for that hit.
Okay.
He is going to smash one more time. So same thing, 1 through 6. Andrew, pick a number.
5 and 6.
And then you roll,
Oh boy. 1.
and he misses you. He hits.
Okay, there
He
we go.
smashes twice. All right. So, sorry. Remind me who was next in the initiative. I know it was you, Andrew. Right. So you're
I think so.
running.
Yes.
You're running. Unless you have a ranged attack, there's very little you can do.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and cast Hunter's Mark on him.
Okay. So as you're running, you cast Hunter's Mark. That's fine because you can cover half distance. Cast Hunter's Mark, and then next round run half distance and still have full attacks.
Okay, yeah,
Okay.
we'll do that. Yep.
All right. Martha, your turn. What do you do? What does Willow do?
Willow finally spots an old toaster off to the side and uses it as a keyhole to get closer to Grindar. Grindar is growling, of course, and his mouth is wide open, and she stuffs those herbs and spices in his mouth.
Inspired by this, okay, so roll a perception check.
Okay, that's the D20,
Yeah,
right?
D20.
All right, 12.
Perfect. So you do perceive there is a box with a keyhole on his table, and what you also see is that clearly this creature is been alive for all this time because it's been doing things to itself. And when you look down beneath its chair, what you start to see is that it's actually broken into the computer system. This is a holodeck of a kind, and it is feeding itself or siphoning off energy from the quote unquote holodeck. And that's how it's been able to stay alive for 8,000 years. And what you also notice is that, for lack of a better word, and to put it into human context, there seems to be an unused USB port on his side, which effectively can work like a keyhole. So roll an athletics check to see if you're moved to go from keyhole to keyhole and get the spices inside him and cast. What spell are you casting?
Well, let's just say she did a ray of frost freezing his middle part.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. Okay. So are you using the entire spice veil, all 74 remaining, 4 remaining doses?
Sure, why not? Let's do it.
All right. So you cast this thing, roll a D20.
The biggest spell ever.
Yeah, this is huge. This will be massive. So we need to roll 3 D20. So roll a D20. Remember, you have a +5. Oh, no, you don't have a +5 because you shoved it down. But you do have an inspiration.
And what's the inspiration again? I can do a second roll.
You can re-roll one of the rolls.
All right. 12.
Okay, good. That's a pass. Roll a second because it's with your dex bonus, right? It was just 15. So pass. Go. Next one.
2. Should I re-roll?
I would re-roll that one.
Come on, Mom.
About to be the coup de grace.
Yeah.
19.
Amazing.
Ooh.
Okay, so one last roll, and this is
I'm mildly uncomfortable at this.
Yeah.
This is for the money. Go for it.
What? I'm supposed to roll again?
One more.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Big one.
So
And
much
I'll explain to you what's going on, but we got to get the 3 rolls.
Oh, jeez. 8.
8. Okay. So here's what happens. With the first roll, you get to the first keyhole. With the second roll, which was a 19, which with your bonuses is a 22, not only do you get to the second keyhole, but you're able to shove the entire spice load below him. And as you're shoving it into him, you're touching the medallion because it's not all the way.
No way.
Yeah. All right. That's what the 19 does, right? And then the 8 is an 11. Now, I'm not, as a DM, I don't want to influence you, but if you were to use the +5.
Let's use it.
For the record, this was completely her choice, people. Okay. You use the +5, which is a pass, which means that it activates. Okay, Andrew, since you are the purveyor of all these rolls, please roll a D6.
Okay.
Go.
D6. A 2.
A 2. Okay, so roll a D20. So it has minimal effect on him from that level.
8.
An 8. Okay, so he feels something because you can't pump in that much magic into him in one moment. He does definitely feel something, but you realize that like not every man is, man, woman, creature is turned on by that. This guy is turned on by gluttony, right? And food and eating. He's not a sexually motivated creature. And so even though something is going on there for sure, because he can't be ignored, it's not really his thing, so it doesn't really affect him. However, Givler, please roll a perception check because we are now on a new round.
12.
A 12. Okay, plus 3, right? So
Yes.
15. You notice she just like basically shoved a giant ice ball down him. And the immediate effects of how much damage it caused is unclear. But what you do see there are certain areas of his stomach which are clearly bulging more than other areas just based on how the ray of frost is working inside him. And she just did it at a 75x effect, and you have a flaming sword in your hand.
I sure do.
What do you do?
Well, first thing I do is I thumb the flaming sword into the on position, whatever little switch. And close. I think I was half move away, so I closed the rest of the distance. And I take a swing at his stomach, aiming for whichever ice protrusion is in range, because I'm trying to make a little steam.
Okay, D20, please.
D20. That was a 6, but you know what? I have an inspiration, and I would like to re-roll to a 17.
Nice.
Amazing. All right. So you don't even need your second or third attack, right? Like, I think you lose an attack anyway by half movement, but it doesn't matter anyway, because you hit him with the steam. The entire array of ice just turns into steam. He is literally boiling from the inside out. And in that Monty Python sketch, I believe it is, right? Like he starts boiling and boiling and boiling and boiling. And as the hero that you are, you grab Willow's hand, pull her off of him, kind of forgetting about her keyhole magic and that she actually can move faster than you anyway. And you two just start heading out the door as quite literally. And it's one of those cinematic moments where you're both running down the path as this thing explodes.
Wow.
Peck is jumping up and down, delighted. There's a piece of Grenda slung across his forehead because it went everywhere, but he's deliriously happy and clapping and all the rest.
And so as you guys are running down, this guy explodes, but like he literally, I just can't think of a better word, so forgive me, like discharges this something, right? Like you're not quite sure what it is, into the hologram. And Trebek kind of pipes up, and Trebek looks nervous for the first time. And he goes, "Oh my, that shouldn't be possible." But this creature was falsely keeping itself alive. And that was the detail it was holding back from you, was like why this creature was still alive after 8,000 years. Was falsely keeping itself alive by feeding into the holodeck's energy. This shouldn't be possible. And whatever it's pushing back, it's causing the holodeck to collapse. I estimate you have exactly 7 minutes to get out of here, basically. And as you're going, can both of you just roll a perception check?
Sure thing.
15.
5.
Okay, perfect. Willow goes, the weapons. We're here for the weapons.
Right.
Oh, right.
Right? Okay. And you turn around, and sure enough, they're just on display. Like they're just right there. So you grab them, and Morgan, please let him tell us.
Yes. So you find three weapons of note. One is a sword. There are also little tiles underneath each weapon, sort of explaining a little bit about what they're, that this is how you know what they are. So the first one is the Vorpal Sword of Suck, which drains a gallon of blood with each strike, which is, I think, 2.5 liters or something like that. For those that I don't know what a gallon is. Anyway, I'm from Australia.
Right. Yes.
The next one that you see is the Quill of Rewritten Stories, which permits the bearer to rewrite 3 seconds of time once per day. So a very powerful object. And then thirdly, you see True Sight goggles, which reveals the presence of all enemies within 30 feet and indicates their biggest weak point for anyone who wears them. So they are the three primary. There's a few other things here and there, but they're the three primary weapons that are a little bit overpowered. And they all seem to be glowing a little bit with a golden light.
So you grab the three weapons and you run out. And as you're running out, this is the post-game cutscene, right? So as you're running out, you realize that like if this hologram collapses, Peck and his family, these generations of creatures that have been living here, are all going to die. And Orion says, Trebek, how can you let this happen? And Orion says, Trebek, how can you let this happen?
Trebek. I missed my cue. Trebek, how can you let this happen?
Trebek goes, what do you want me to do? Willow goes, let's take them with us.
Let's take them with us.
Quicker on the take.
And and Trebek goes, no, they will be summarily executed as anomalies by the Empire. And the minute they're out of this level, they'll be immediately picked up. But there is a suggestion or a solution. Remember how we were talking about the this being a Kepler kitchen? Sorry, did I say that right? Calexian kitchen, right? And I spoke to you about the Calexian hero. I didn't finish the story. Altair, when he failed to save his people, instead of joining the Empire, he joined his people to die. And I, the younger version of myself, made a deal with a group of space pirates, basically, just to keep it simple, that they would come down and collect 500 people from Altair's family, and if Altair agreed to serve with them, and Altair is under a contract for saving his people, we can reach out to Altair now and ask him if he would come collect these creatures. Is that something you would like to do?
Sounds like the only way to save them.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I've already done that because I figured, having read all your stories, that would be the only answer you would give me. And the pirates, Altair would love to get the kitchen equipment because he misses home, and these are relics that are extremely valuable to him. But unfortunately, he is under servitude to the pirates, and they have agreed to save Peck and his people if you give them the weapons that you just got.
Don't we need the weapons to defeat the dragon back when we get to the other side?
Indeed.
So it's defeat the dragon or save the people?
That is correct. That is the moral dilemma.
And and we can't cast a spell or do anything else?
Not in 4 minutes, Martha.
Only got 4 minutes to save the world.
I would turn it over because I figured that I'd find another way when we got back to the dragon.
Do I have to give up my fiery sword too, or just the new one?
Just the new ones.
All right, then yeah, I'm fine with that.
All right. So you give up the weapons, and Trebek arranges a way for the pirates to get Peck and his people to safety without the Empire getting involved. You have done a heroic death. And Martha, we would like to, I think, Morgan, we would give the last line to Martha.
Yes,
so,
why not?
Martha, you guys get back to the bridge, and the two of you are almost weaponless, right? I mean, Martha's weaponless.
Except Orion has the fiery sword he keeps waving around.
Orion has the fiery sword.
Yeah.
And you could get out onto the landing of it, and Orion turns to Willow and says, Willow, now what? And Willow bravely looks at the dragon and the horde of demons and says,
well, personally, I kind of want to slay the dragon. Let's get to work.
Thank you, guys. That is it.